measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken, we just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and vegs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat earth king of rhyme.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching. Then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected. And if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Neil, Surf Daddy, Adam, Sensual, Click OK, Christian, and a whole bunch of people in the Flipside Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
How are you?
Hello.
Hello, how's it all going?
No complaints. I've got ants in my pants.
Do you want to explain what you mean? What do you mean you've got ants in your pants? Explain.
That's how you described me the other day for wanting service as being restless.
I didn't hear, I only heard about 10% of that. Say that again.
How did you describe me the other day when I wasn't there as being restless, as having ants in my pants? What did they call the service?
Oh, right. When you were saying that there's no fights and bar stools being smashed over people's heads in this particular bar, and we're not necessarily going out to the club later on this evening to watch other people smash bar stools over our heads in that bar. You know what I mean? That was your general attitude. And today you've described us as old men swilling beer in a bar.
Complaining about our wives.
I'm not complaining about my wife. Very happily married. Love my wife dearly.
You'll learn.
What do you mean? I've been married for about 15 years. Anyway. We'll be going to the worldwide debates tomorrow, so if you've tuned in to hear a fight, unfortunately this may not be the day. We've gone through in the pre-show some of the crappy old arguments that people have about flat earth requirements and prerequisites utilised to suggest we have various different atmospheric effects, also described from flat earth measurements.
Atmospheric duct, man. Atmospheric duct. You flat earthers like to take observations close to the water.
Yeah, so pointing out how it's suggested that to be a flat earther, you're the one making the observations of the horizon. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? It's because there's a group of people that say that we have a limitation to the distance we should see at the horizon. Okay. So let them make the claim. Oh, what's that? You want to say how their claim's wrong? And people don't like that person. The person who goes around telling everyone that they're wrong. So leaning into their claim would be to recognise how flat the Earth is measured in their claim. What's that? There's a distance to a geometric horizon below the surface level in an orthographic mathematics. Well, we'll need surface level to measure then, won't we? We're going to get our height off it. Surface level? What's that? It bends? No, it can't bend, because then it won't be parallel with eye level, as per your requirement for a surface level in your mathematics that infers that there's a distance to a geometric horizon below the surface level. Well, that's silly. What's that? Oh, we've got something being blocked according to you, but we can see it. Well, then it's not blocked. What's that? That's me saying we see too far. No, I'm just seeing a building. I give this example quite frequently. It's two guys and they're stood at a shoreline and they're looking at a, I don't know, island in the distance. And on the island, there's a town and it's got a big clock tower in the middle of the town. And you can see it. So both people are looking at, I don't know, 10k distance and going, wow, you can see that clock tower, says the flat earther. Response, no, Flurf. You're saying we see too far. That's a slightly looming non-standard refraction holographic projection of a clock tower from behind the physical geometric sphere edge horizon I infer is below the surface level I measure in this orthographic mathematics that ignores perspective. Therefore, it's a mirage, Flurf. Don't say we see too far. And the flat earther goes, it's just a clock. I just see it. Got eyeballs. What's that? I'm saying we see too... No, I don't say we see too far. I just say there's a clock. I can see it. You say it's a slightly looming non-standard refraction holographic projection of a clock from behind the physical geometric sphere edge horizon reified into existence after measuring Earth flat at surface level for your altitude. That's what you say. I just saw a clock as a flat earther. But we fool ourselves into thinking that we've got to show how next man is wrong, rather than saying how right you are. How right am I when I look at a clock and go, clock? Very. You're not going to argue with that, I assure you. What's that? It's not really a clock, it's a mirage. Okay. If you say so.
Hey, what time Eastern time are you going to Worldwide Debates, and who are you supposed to debate?
There's somewhere else to be. It's like I don't actually own this server, so being in other servers has always served me quite nicely. And we've had an open invitation to go in on a Friday at the normal time that we're live, so it'll be back now, 24 hours-ish from now, approximately.
Is there anyone specific you're debating, or just open room?
Whoever
No, like I
opens
say,
their mic.
It's just a reason to go elsewhere is that I don't have a server. Didn't I just answer this like 10 seconds ago?
Fair enough.
I like to
You know
spread
that there
myself
is
out.
no debate, right? Do you realize that?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if the other side agrees with that, right?
Not agree, disagree. There is no debate.
I recently had a conversation with a guy who used to be prevalent on the scene called Conspiracy Cats. Now, he went slightly bonkers and gave up his channel to a guy called MC Toon after appreciating how flat Earth must be measured to make it be perceived that there is an argument to have. Now, the quote that he gave upon departing was, "I'll give you a flat Earth for that," when describing perspective. Well, you'd have to. That's how Earth gets measured. And there's no getting away from it if you want to have that as your argument. But that sent him a little bit bonkers, and then he gave up his Flurf or anti-Flurf channel to some other anti-Flurf who can then go around telling people how we, the flat earthers in name only, suggest that we see too far on a globe. Okay, I mean, those are the things that you'll have to go through when you eventually fall down the slippery slope of recognition of a flat earth that is required to make those claims. Katz was one of them. But one of the last things he said to me in comments was, "Aren't you even pretending there's a debate anymore?" End quote. Conspiracy Cats. You're like, well, no, there isn't. Like, I'll give you a flat earth for that? Well, I'm not asking for it. I just see a clock. What's that? It's not really a clock. It's a slightly looming non-standard refraction holographic projection of a clock from behind the physical geometric sphere edge horizon below the surface level I measure for my altitude. And you're measuring a surface level, aren't you? So we've got a surface level. Okay. What's that? It bends? Well, how's it going to be parallel with eye level? It can't be. You need Earth to be flat to make the claim you live on a ball. Katz found it out the hard way when he tried to argue about what perspective does, and very quickly realised he had to measure Earth flat. The only way he could cognitively square that circle was by going, "I'll give you, my very lucky opponent, the flat Earth I need to make my argument with." That's all right. You can keep your flat Earth that you're needing to make your argument with. What's that? Bye. Bye. What, are you going to give your channel to this dickhead? Okay, no worries. Good for you. No, I don't need to pretend there's an argument anymore because there isn't one. Everybody measures Earth flat. There aren't any exceptions. You want to say you got an Earth curve? What's this surface level in your maths? A surface level, you'll need it to measure heights. And you'll need it to be parallel with eye level, will you? All right, so we've got a surface level for your maths to work. You don't want it anymore. You don't want it to be a surface level. That's a flat Earth that you need to make your measurement for your belief in a curve that's below it. Well, then don't. I don't care. You don't have to use your flat Earth in your measurements that you need to infer there's a curve below the surface level. Don't do it. But then you go like cats a bit doolally and you end up building up a channel that you give to some other tosspot as you run away into the distance going, I'll give you a flat Earth for that. Yeah, you're damn right you will. Everybody measures Earth flat. There is no debate. But they might disagree, huh? Let them. I say go leaning into it. Lean into their belief. Like the last couple of times we've gone to worldwide debates, my opponent in the moment, as there is a perception that there is a debate, can't quite frickin' believe his ears when I'm not telling him he's wrong. I'm like, nah, you need a flat Earth to make your claim. Have you never looked south? And they can't quite wrap their head around it. Are you telling me it's not a ball? No, I'm telling you that your argument uses south. You don't have to use south. No, you use your mantra. Oh, sorry, south's become a mantra of Nathan Oakley, has it? Okay. I don't think so, but you can tell yourself that.
Yeah, that's your call. That's your call.
Yes, I snuggle up next to South. Oh, South, you're so comforting. That's just South. It's a direction that you're using in your argument. Don't have to. Just don't use it if you don't want to, but then you haven't got an argument to make. What's that? I'm not even pretending there's an argument. No, not when you describe South. I mean, what do you want? I'm not the one describing it. You are, for your belief in a ball. Well, I'll lean right into that. I'm not saying you're wrong, am I? Just saying that's what South is. Just pointing and saying the words that you've said. But apparently that's my cope, as I repeat back the words that people have put to me when they have tried and attempt to affirm their sphere belief, using flat Earth prerequisites left, right and centre. Like, well, okay, just don't use the flat Earth prerequisite. Oh, right, well, you can't do anything then. No, I know. That's because there is no argument. There's no debate. Everybody measures Earth flat.
I still think if you put a compass in their hand, the penny has to drop.
I think
You
it's
put
much
the
more.
compass in teddy bears, so therefore they're comforted.
Like I say, it doesn't require us pity them or make them understand what South is or give them a compass to appreciate how flat Earth is dealt with. It's like, even by their own imagination, when ignoring how flat the prerequisites they're using are, they still use them. They're like intrinsic to their belief. Now, I said this yesterday, explaining this to others, specifically my mother most recently, was her trying to scratch her head in recognition of why I'd be ad-hommed more when I point these things out. Because you can't do anything else. There's nowhere to go when I point out surface level in Earth curve maths. Like, there it is, like a turd floating around in a punch bowl. You can ignore it and still slurp up that punch, but it's going to taste pretty foul while you're staring at the turd floating around in it. And that's what a flat Earth prerequisite does.
Nasty.
But that's what it is, isn't it? It's a turd in the punch bowl.
Oh God, I get that. That is a good analogy, but it just made me want to vomit. And you're right. You can't take your eyes off it. You can't ignore it, and you ain't drinking a punch.
But some people want to, right? I'll give you that turd in the punch bowl. I'll give it you. I'll give you that turd. I mean, I don't really want it in the punch, but you want to keep slurping it because you're telling me that you're giving me the turd. I mean, you can tell yourself that it's my turd if you like. I'm just not drinking the punch.
Nathan, they drink it because there's alcohol in there and it's going to take them where they want to go. See, they'll take it because it's space. You know, with the globe, you got space, and that'll take them where they want to go. Don't you understand? The imagination. It's got to be real. There's other planets. There's other stuff that we need to discover. It's out there, just not beyond the horizon. It's straight up in the air. Oh, we don't have one.
Don't have up if you're on. Again, you know, it doesn't matter where the conversation goes. If the conversation's going up, what, perpendicular to a plane of reference? Like axiomatically tied horizontally and vertically to one another at 90 degrees to be perpendicular to describe altitude with. When you go up, yeah, well, you'll need a flat earth for that. I mean, again, you don't have to use height. Altitude. Something that's intrinsic when they want to take us from the ground that we must measure flat to describe anything to the sky that's devoid from Earth as described as being flat as measured by them. They want to take it straight to the stars, but the altitude that they take it with there will require a flat plane be perpendicular to the altitude description in measurement form that they'll use. And they will use it. You know, they can't get away from it. I mean, maybe, again, staring at a turd bobbing up and down, I'll give you a flat earth for that altitude. I wasn't asking for it. It's axiomatic. It's required. What's that? My mantra? Height? No, snuggle up next to height. Chanting it, you say? No, it's just height. It's altitude measurement from surface level or sea level. Level. Like the ground's being measured perpendicular to the vertical axes that you describe the height with. That's what you're describing it with. When you go up and away into your sky vacuum, violation of a law of nature, you'll describe a flat earth to do it. So it doesn't really matter that your sky vacuum's a load of nonsense when you're believing in moon travel. It's like, well, what about the trajectory that they took? Oh, flat earth required? Oh, I wonder why those moon trajectories suddenly vanished. And there's a whole story about them accidentally recording over the very expensive tape. You're like, yeah, they had to make up that story because it'd be right there in black and white, like on the pitch data. There'd be a flat earth in it. If you're going to describe going to the moon with a trajectory, you're going to describe altitudes off a flat earth. So better to just get rid of them and give some crap excuse about having expensive tapes that you need to record over.
Yeah, exactly. That alcohol is very expensive that's in that fruit punch. You know, you got 100 proof vodka, you got gin, you got freaking imported Southern Comfort in there. Hey, come on. It's very expensive. You're going to dip your cup in there. You can't let it go to waste, Nathan, just because there's a little turd floating around in it.
I'm just keeping away from that punch, I'm afraid. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I can point out the turd. You can tell me that you'll give me that turd, right? That's how it works. But I'm going to go, no, I'm just not drinking the punch. You can drink the punch. You can have it. I know you want to blame it on me. While you're drinking it, you say, it's that Nathan's, it's his turd. He put the turd in here. Yeah, you can do that. That's what you do.
That's true. You'll get the blame for that turd in there. You will.
Fine. And I'm going to, from this point forward, say, yeah, fine. You can blame that turd on me. South being the metaphorical turd. It's Nathan's south. Yeah? Heights, that's Nathan's turd. Heights are Nathan's. Okay, you can do that. But the turd's still bobbing along, isn't it? While you're slurping down that cocktail.
Yeah.
Blame it on me all you like.
As a matter of fact, it gets very fermented, and somebody at the end, like the like the killer worm. Yeah, it's a little too far.
Yeah, let's keep it as basic as this analogy needs to be. The flat Earth prerequisite measurements of surface level are a turd in the punch bowl of heliocentrism. Now, previously, right, someone had come along before everybody noticed, and only a few people noticed, and they fished out the turd and popped it to one side, didn't they? Yeah? And they called that geography. They said, we're going to put this turd of having to measure Earth flat over there, okay? Because this has got some expensive alcohol in it. Now, yes, there's still elements of turd in there, but it's over there in a separate class now, so everybody can just forget about how much turd there is in this punch bowl. Turd being flat Earth elevation angles, flat Earth surface level measurements of altitude, flat Earth from sea level, flat Earth in terms of topographical changes described from the level. That's all poop in your punch bowl that you need when you make your claims of being on a ball. Me, I'm like, there's poop in that turd. And that's been in that punch bowl. So I ain't drinking it. So we'll take our turd if you blame it on us, and we'll just go over to another place where the turd is considered the best fertilizer in the whole world. And they'll be like, yeah, over here we know how we measure Earth flat with elevation angles if we're navigating. Over here we know how we remain in straight and level flight when we're flying above a surface level measured with an altimeter. We know how altimeters are describing something that's axiomatically tied to a sea level that's been measured flat. We know all these things. Just don't remind us that it doesn't comport with our religious belief in being on a ball. If you remind us, I'll call you gay. Okay? Won't forget that. Be a sexy femboy before you know it. Go ahead.
Leah Brown in chat is asking to submit videos in Discord.
I submit videos in Discord. Hello, this is not a blockbuster. Yeah? Voice chat. Ooh, what's that? Want to submit a video? Why? We're not a returns blockbuster video. What do you think this is? Quick drop. Oh, I'm just going to drop this video. Bye! Okay.
That made referring to getting your attention to review them.
Come and paint my house. Yeah? Come and paint my house and pay me to do it. Okay? Just come and do that for me. What's that? You want to give me little tasks to do? Get lost. Pay me. Then I might consider looking at your shitty video that you're dropping in the Dropbox and running away from. Meanwhile, it's a voice chat. You want to come and put some heliocentric claims to us? I would assume that's your pain relief methodology that you're seeking. Look, somebody's told me it's a globe. If I drop it in the Dropbox and run away and you don't deal with it, it means it's right. You can have it. You can have all of the flat Earth prerequisites, which will undoubtedly be in your video, on me. Yeah? I'll pretend I've ignored them. The flat Earth measurements that will be undoubtedly in your video that you're dropping and running away from. Just be known that you are dropping a video and running away from it rather than defending it. Me, I'm not even going to look at it. I don't even go into Discord. I use it as a gateway for a voice chat so that you can come and talk to me if you want to. What's that? You want me to cover a video for you? Come and paint my house. Pay me to do it.
Is it a flat earth that's requesting it or a baller?
Doesn't make any difference.
Flat earther.
What difference does it make? Just dropping something in the chat and going, I'm going to drop this and run. It's like, come in and talk to us. If you want to have a discussion about it, no worries. Come and talk about it. Like we've done in the pre-show. We haven't had to cover the video that Liam posted in Master B, which is where I get my videos if I'm ever going to consider covering them. Certainly not from Discord. And I haven't had to cover the video. Neil's brought up what he's got triggered by, and I've reacted to how Neil's got triggered by it. Me, I'm like, I saw that it was in Master B, but I had no inclination to click on it.
Hold on. You didn't get triggered by it. You have to bring entertainment to the show. Don't get confused, Nathan.
It's just being triggered.
No, not at all.
Fine, whatever. Call it having ants in your pants then. I don't care how you phrase it.
No, that's Liam has ants in his pants. When I seen it, I said, oh, this would be good to go over. I never heard of this atmospheric duct. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it'll get posted in Master B, because often there's people who are on the panel that look at those things in the Discord server and go, oh, you know what, actually, that is a good video to respond to. and then it ends up in Master B, and someone will bring my attention to it verbally, especially while you're doing a live show. That's the bit that irritates me the most. You're like, what do you think I'm sat here doing? Do you think I'm sat here looking at your Discord links? No, I've got camera, lights, sound equipment, desks. What do you think's going on here? Oh, right. To you, I come off so casual in my approach to camera that you think, oh, yeah, I'll just sit here and I'll just grab my iPad and go through the Discord server and I'll review a video whilst live and decide maybe I want to cover it. Do you not think that would just cause a huge, protracted, long silence in the middle of a live show that I'm producing literally as I speak? No, these people in their minds are like, oh, yeah, he'll want to review a video while he's broadcasting live. Are you delusional?
Yeah, you're better off sending it to somebody on the panel, and then we'll review it, look at it, and see if it's worthy of being on the show.
Different story. If you come and join the VC, you can tell me how you interpreted the video, how you summarise what was in the video, and then as a couple, we can have a dialogue, discuss. Like Neil having watched a video and describing how there's now atmospheric ducting. I haven't had to watch any video for Neil to describe how ballers have cope. Have I? It's just, here's how they cope. They describe gases in a very weird way where they're forming layers and ducting light. Why? Oh, well, because they've got a building in the distance that's not supposed to be there in mathematics that uses a flat earth. All right. So in mathematics that describe a flat earth being measured, there's a distance to a geometric horizon that's below the surface level we measured, and therefore the building that we can actually see with our own eyeballs isn't really there, is only there because of atmospheric ducting. Okay, I mean, this is very interesting, and I really want to pretend that I care about it, but I really don't. It's just silly. Silly nonsense. There's a building. I see it. No, you don't. It's not really there. Yeah, it is. I can see it. Yeah, you're saying we're seeing it when we shouldn't see it. Oh, no, I'm not saying that at all. Yeah, you are. You're saying we see too far, aren't you? No, I'm just saying I see a building. Well, we shouldn't see the building. So you say we shouldn't see it. Well, we do see it. Yeah, only because of ducting, flurf. You're like, why am I having to deal with this level of idiocy and aggression? Because we see a building. We, both of us, can see it with our eyeballs, but it apparently shouldn't be there in an orthographic view from a maths that needs a flat earth to say that there's curve. I mean, that all just seems stupid to me. Why would I have to deal with you? You just seem nuts. You seem crazy. You're just trying to affirm a belief when something comes up that is obviously incongruent with your belief. Seeing a building based on your belief it shouldn't be seen. It's only seen because the Earth that's curving after measuring it flat produces atmospheric ducting in anisotropic mixtures of gases. You're like, this is all just stupid. Every aspect of it's idiot. Hodder. And you've gobbled it down. Why? And why are you now poisoning me by regurgitating it all over me? I'm just looking at this building, man. There it is, 10 kilometres away. I see it because it's there.
Well, I might as well go over the first one since we did start it. So this one says, humans first went to the moon in Apollo missions. To some, the feat seemed so far-fetched they would rather believe the false notion it was filmed on Earth. To make an in-joke out of it, some films and other media featured the conspiracy theory as a parody. Flat Earthers and other believers of the moon hoax conspiracy theory naturally cannot realize that they are being featured as objects of a joke. These parodies spread in their communities as though they are proof or endorsements of their false belief. So all those people that are debunking the moon and showing all of these things, they're making a joke out of you. I hope Jim's paying attention.
Spin it on its head. They're making not believing in it a conspiracy. Instead of just outright saying, you need to believe in this shit, they say, look at these idiots who don't believe. Therefore, they're the ones with the conspiracy. Like, a conspiracy is where people come together to lie or deceive or do a criminal act. Okay, so people have come together to say that they went to a light in the sky. Therein, in the most basic form, lies the conspiracy. But I'm not concerned with it. It's only because things like this come along where they say, no, you must be concerned with it not happening. Like, why? All that is a glorified burden of proof reversal fallacy. You need to prove you did something, but it's easier to say I'm wrong about it not happening. So that's what they do. And then it's so far removed from the reality that you've just got to, as the public gobbling this crap down, accept something that you've not done. And you can't do. But not believing it is making you into the conspiracy theorist that you are. So let's fight that person that we've created and call him a flat earther.
Yeah, because they say before 2009, Apollo mission images we saw were scanned from the secondary, I lost it. Scans from the secondary copies that NASA distributed to research facilities after each mission. Only in 2009, NASA made a high-resolution scans from the original films and made them available to the public. Today, we can still find the older scan results. Flat Earthers like to find defects in these low-quality scans and use the fact as evidence they are just paintings. In reality, they are scanned from the printed photos, which can preserve the texture of the photo paper itself. So basically going after pictures, this is what you're going to wind up in. Now you're in the conspiracy to believe that we didn't go to the moon.
So they're positioning it such that we say the scans are paintings? Nah. As a techie who worked on stages, I know what a backdrop looks like. I've painted them. What's painted? A backdrop? It's a backdrop. Maybe we could argue about whether or not it's rear projection.
Well, what the picture that they're looking at is the Earthrise image. I'll put it in Master B if you want to look at it.
Not really.
Well, it's the famous Earthrise, from the moon. And it was very cloudy. You couldn't make it out too much. But the high-resolution one, you could see all the continents, basically. You could see the blue marble in all its beauty.
Wow. It's akin to Narnia. The place that they've said they've taken the pictures from violates the second law of thermodynamics. Now, maybe we could have a little look at the trajectory information and therefore show anybody who's foolish enough to believe this crap how even in the lie, the altitudes are still described from a flat plane. They can only be described from a flat plane. Elevations are described from sea level. That's how we describe elevation. What's that? Oh, we got a news story about how they've gone missing. Oh, isn't that interesting? So we can't look at the measurements after all. Oh, that's a shame. You'd think they'd keep those really, really close to hand. Like, here's our measurements proving that we're on a ball. What's that? We got pictures of backdrops sent back from a sky vacuum. Really? The gas on the blue marble that they're looking at would have vacated into the area that they're traversing if it's a sky vacuum, as it alleges to be in their narrative. Well, we wouldn't have any gas to breathe. So they definitely didn't take the journey. They're all liars. Astronauts, that is. People who say they've been to a sky vacuum. They're all liars. There is no sky vacuum.
Yeah, well, I put the pictures in Master B if you want to look at it anyway. But yeah, that's it. There's no sky vacuum is fake. We know that. Just stick with that, and you don't have to deal with pictures.
Okay, so for the audience's benefit, although it's teeny tiny, these little dots that are alleged to be the blue marble, well, if the black area around the dot is a sky vacuum, as it's alleged to be, then no gas would exist on the blue marble. We'd all be dead. The gas would fill the space. It's called entropic dispersion. Gas fills space, making all of the pictures alleged from outside of the Earth's atmosphere, what sphere-shaped air, another oxymoron that doesn't exist. These are all automatically fake. It's not that I'm saying that the composites and the scans are wrong. I'm saying that the picture itself is a description that violates a natural law. Gas not filling space in the pictures that they're alleged to be, making them not pictures, because it violates a law of nature. So they're obviously fake.
So Jen will say in a vacuum, the film doesn't work. So therefore they're fake.
Old school. He's leaning into the idea that there is a vacuum. It's just we can't have film working in it. So therefore someone comes along and puts a film camera in a vacuum chamber and shows it working, and suddenly we've got real moon landings. Like, no. The area above your head is where the gas that we are breathing would fill if it was real. Good.
Do cameras working? Like, does film... Forget it.
Does film work in a vacuum?
No.
What vacuum?
Go ahead, Eli.
What vacuum are you talking about?
Because I'm wondering if I even care. Like, that's why.
But the question is proceeded from us. If you ask us, does the film work in a vacuum? I say, what vacuum?
Yeah. Well, for some reason, I wanted to bring up cloud seeding, if that's what it's called, and people controlling the weather and all that.
Oh my
Really?
But the show was over yesterday.
You want to bring up chemtrails and cloud seeding? Feel free.
Well, I don't know if chemtrails is the same thing as them saying they create clouds and make weather modifications. I don't know if those are the same thing.
I've got pictures, Eli. I can say pretty much whatever I like. I've got pictures.
Point I'm making is, doesn't everybody, like, the typical response you get is they got patents. Look, read the information. It's right there, right? Isn't that, am I wrong?
Yeah. I mean, if I say that we've got nothing but Lamborghinis racing around on racetracks, every car on the racetrack ever is a Lamborghini, and you go, okay, well, what would prove that? Well, here's a patent for a Lamborghini. Deny the Lamborghinis exist. I'm like, well, just showing me that you've got a patent for something doesn't mean that it simultaneously is every single racetrack car that exists. Saying that you've got a patent for a cloud producing machine doesn't mean that the clouds in the sky are produced by that machine in all instances.
And the reason I was talking about that example and how people, think that because, and this is for the audience benefit, because I know, regardless of what I'm saying right now, you're probably like, get the FO, right? Okay, fine. Is the ISS real?
There's a light in
patents for that.
Well, there's a complex answer to, is the ISS real? There's a light in the sky that is called the ISS, and there is
I'm sorry, I have to stop you because you're taking my example in a way that's like not. No, my point is about patents. If you're going to say, as a flat earther who knows that the ISS isn't in the second law of thermodynamics, don't run around talking about how patents make the validity of your argument more, valid. No, it doesn't. It's just, your patent is just as valid as the ISS patent. That's my point.
Sure, but having a patent for combine harvesters doesn't mean that the grain that you're eating has been harvested in that way, does it?
No.
Right. Somebody could have taken a sickle and cut it down by hand. But unless you see how it's actually been harvested, or in the case of the clouds, produced, you can't attribute to anything just because you've got a patent for it. Likewise, having a patent for the ISS doesn't alter a couple of things, because it's slightly more complicated with the ISS, because there is a light in the sky. It gets called the ISS, and then there is a tin can in a swimming pool that they also call the ISS. Then there's lots of stages and studios that they also call the ISS. So there's a whole bunch of different things that they call ISS.
Or you could go, well, Cuddles did to me and said he has government documents claiming that there's chemtrails.
Yeah, we covered this yesterday. It's advantageous to make the world believe that you control everything, including the weather. It doesn't matter that you don't. But if you're going to pretend that you do, it's best to have conspiratards peddle that notion. But not just peddle it, brace against it. Say they're wrong to be controlling the weather. Oh, whoa. How do you know they are? I've got pictures of the stuff that comes out the back of jets. Oh, well, is there any other explanation for why that would be the case? I've got pictures of it. Yeah, but what explains that effect? Well, the pictures prove that it's chemicals and they're controlling the weather. Here's a patent. No, that's non sequitur. Having a patent doesn't mean that that's what they're doing up in the sky when you see clouds form after a jet has traversed a bit of the sky. You're drawing lots of conclusions without any actual evidence to prove that is the case. However, I can make a really good case for the advantages of suggesting that you maintain control over basically everything, including the weather. It's winter.
And these are government documents, all right? It's from the government.
Sure, the government documents for the moon landing also exist, though, don't they? Oh no, the trajectory data got lost. Tape's very expensive. Having a narrative doesn't mean that there is something going on that you profess to be going on based on pictures. The pictures are real in some instances, not all. But if you take pictures of the clouds that form after a jet's traverse the sky, I can easily make a counter-argument that they're literally just heating up the air and causing the effects of cirrus clouds to form where they would have formed anyway. You're disturbing that type of gaseous combination in our air and forming a cloud as a result of it. Not actually intentionally making a cloud where one would not have existed. But if you can blame people for producing this stuff, then suddenly there's a power that should not be, akin to Zeus, controlling the frickin' weather. You're like, oh, but you've got a patent to show that they could do it. Okay, now show me 500 machines in a field doing it. Oh, you haven't got that. You've got one example where they show it doing it for 10 minutes. And what do you know? After it disperses into the very limited area that it's covering, it dissipates. What, in line with entropic dispersion laws? Yeah, so therefore it's not covering the whole of the frickin' country when you show one machine on the back of a truck. That doesn't mean the entire worldwide weather is controlled by man. It's just bollocks. Complete non sequitur conclusions that people draw.
Hold on. I got Hop in chat skanking us saying, keep making yourselves look like disinfo shows. You're doing a great job at Nathan Oakley and Neil Costantino.
It's how it always gets made about us. Yeah? So suddenly it's not about whether or not there's a dozen or 2 dozen or 100 of these machines actually producing the clouds by way of a visual demonstration of that actually occurring. You get one example of somebody producing the machine in the 90s, doing it once. You're like, okay, so that proves that the patent got turned into a machine. Okay. Now show me that doing it yesterday for the clouds that are above my head today. Go. Oh, you can't? I've just got to take that leap of faith. What's that, Nathan's a disinfo shill? I don't care. The only people who want to convince you that they've got control of the weather are the ones that would benefit from you believing that there's an overarching power that's greater than yourself. And I just don't think that's the case.
He's got a picture of something here. I'll put it in Master B. It's like a 5-gallon water bottle. And they're doing something. Yeah, something's happening, but that doesn't. What are you showing me here? Come in and explain, Hop.
I don't want him to explain this stuff to me. It's just seemingly inconsequential, especially when you talk about what we actually do here. Describing how flat Earth is. Now, I can extract out from a machine that literally does pump gases into our air. Like, well, how high did they get? We'll need a flat Earth to describe that, won't we? So in terms of my useful extraction from this information, all it'll ever do is point in the direction of a flat Earth prerequisite used to describe the altitude that this single example can achieve. It doesn't mean that the clouds out there today that are producing snow in winter. It's like, why is it that, okay, if these machines exist, right, and the most recent one is that we've got this man-made snow coming down. Like, really? Show me when that happened in August. Oh, shocking. It happened in the winter? Oh, I see. So something that seems perfectly in line with the seasonal changes that happen regularly, year on year on year on year. You think that a man can make it snow? Okay. Well, why haven't they done it in August? I mean, if you're going to demonstrate your power and ability to control the weather, make it snow in August. Oh, it's doing it in January? Oh, shocking. Snow in January, you say? Heaven forbid. Must be man-made. Like, it's the middle of frickin' winter. Yeah, we get snow. Oh, but I've got to believe that a man made it come in the middle of winter. Well, we don't normally get snow here. And do you not? But it is winter. So it's not like completely out of the question, is it? In fact, you've got it right now. But you want to believe that because you don't often get snow, the snow you're getting in winter is man-made. No. Show me it happening in frickin' August. And then I might prick my ears up. Till then, what's that? You got snow in winter? Oh my God. Stop the presses.
Well, Hop said, as far as me ever coming in and opening my mic, never again. Why? Are you that sensitive, Hop? Serious? Oh,
well, is Harp talking about something else? Or is he reacting to what we're talking about now?
Well, he's reacting to what we're talking about, but he didn't post anything. That was Price of Adam, the other conspiracy guy that posted the bottle, weather in the bottle thing.
Well, it's not like, I mean, because you guys got to, whoever's listening, you have to think about it. Like, all we're doing is saying don't commit a logical fallacy by making these assumptions. Why would anybody be mad at us for having a show with that kind of conversation?
Exactly. I have a high standard. We have a high standard of evidence. I'm sorry.
I thought that's what we've been doing for the last 10 years, training people to increase their standards in terms of the evidence that they'll accept. Because we don't directly and overtly address things like chemtrails very often, they just slip under the metaphorical radar. People are like, oh yeah, but I don't need a high standard for that. I've been looking at pictures of chemtrails for 10 years. So?
Yeah, and once you realize the game, I mean, you really got to pay attention to what's happening and just stop jumping down everything you see. Jump right into that rabbit hole. I mean, what are you going to prove one way or the other? Same thing with 9/11. I don't know one way or the other.
I mean, I think the other thing to be cognizant of is that you recognise what you're being positioned as. If you fight these corners, like you're fighting for people to see you as a conspiratard and disregard anything you say that does have value.
Exactly. 100% correct.
But there we go. You can please some of the people some of the time.
And I do understand most people do come from the conspiracy side. We discussed this, right? Even though I didn't, I'm sure that's where my brother got it from. So indirectly, yeah, I guess so. But there's got to be a point where you realize what's going on and you just stick to what you can prove.
Well, that's not a lot. So it kind of leaves you with a like an empty life if that's all you can.
What do you mean
or
we can? We could prove a lot of things.
No,
I don't understand
let me respond to that if you don't understand. I do understand what he's saying because my good friend just yesterday, we had this conversation and we were talking about how much information she has to sit and learn to combat, a person. Because she's like, she's not a flat earther or anything like that, but she's like at year one where we were just asking questions. So her friend says, oh, flat earthers are stupid. And she's like, well, how do you know? And they're like, oh, I've been on a boat and this, that, and the third. And she told me I just didn't have enough information to take it further. Like, I don't know as much as you know. And I said, well, honestly, all the years that I've given you tidbits of information here, that's all a waste. Because also she gave an example in another conversation about how she was talking to someone who was giving her the runaround and she only needed to ask a clarifying question that they weren't forthright with the answer. And I said, that's all you need to do. Somebody tells you that something is the case. All you need to do is ask them for clarity. If they can't clarify, that means at the very best, they don't know how to validate what they've told you. So you don't have to go on a wild goose chase. You can just stop right there. You don't have to know everything. You just have to know that when somebody comes by and tells you BS, it's BS. That'll save you a lot of time in life, and then you can do whatever you want, believe what you want, learn what you want.
Yeah, we had it in the pre-show. Neil was explaining that there's a certain group of individuals that believe that the ground is moving based on sending clocks up into aeroplanes and seeing the differences between the clocks when they come back down again. Like, well, the differences in the time, a concept derived from the movement of the lights in the sky measured from a flat plane, is different when you compare man-made mechanical objects shoved up into aeroplanes, travelling in different directions. Directions being a flat earth prerequisite that they're going to be utilising to describe how they moved at altitudes described from a flat earth at elevation. So in terms of whether or not this proves we've got a spherical surface that's turning, you have to bastardize the original conception of time derived from the movement of the lights in the sky to infer that the lights in the sky you've derived this concept with are the thing that's moving. Why? Because clocks changed when I send them up in airplanes. That's the summary of the scenario. Now, if you do what Eli suggested, you go, okay, why? And the response will be, what do you mean, why? Well, I just told you why. Because the clocks go up and they come back different. Okay, Why does that mean that we're turning? Well, because the clock's changed. Yeah, explain it to me like it's in any way sequitur, the one and the other. The earth, the ground I'm actually standing on being physically moving, and these clocks being different when you come back down. Well, it proved Einstein. Okay, what's Einstein? Well, general relativity. Well, how does that relate to the ground moving? Well, the clocks came back different. Well, how does that prove that the ground's moving? And so you go on, asking them about their crazy assertion. And the more you ask them, the more frustrated they'll get that you're not just accepting it. And at some point, they'll probably say something like, It's science! In other words, you've just got to accept this. Because I don't fully understand how sending clocks up affirms general relativity, therefore proves the ground's moving. But in their mind, it's just complicated enough for them to go, I don't fully understand how this explains that the ground's moving, but I'm going to assert it anyway. Right up until the point that someone asks me what that actually means and how it proves it to them. Like, how does this prove that the ground's moving to you? Just because you sent clocks up in aeroplanes, really? That doesn't really prove it for me, but if that's good enough for you, I mean, fair enough. Seems completely non sequitur to me, based on your explanation of what's going on.
It's called the Hafeel-Keating experiment, Nathan. The Hafeel-Keating experiment was a test of time dilation. 4 atomic clocks.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that. Doesn't mean that it means...
The irony I was going to say was that, they claim to have done experiments to try to measure the motion of the Earth. They got a null result, no motion of the Earth. So now they appeal to Einstein where the Earth is not in motion. It's just the bending and warping of space-time. So for them to claim that the Earth has been shown to be in motion, that would go against Einstein.
Of course, I got a phone call when I was reading the freaking thing out. What else? Maybe it shouldn't be read out. Maybe that's a sign, Nathan.
Maybe. I mean,
seriously much?
Like I say, it seems non sequitur to me when they draw these conclusions. But if you press them, well, how does this prove it to you? Feel free to take me through it. Explain how that movement is affirmed by these clocks being different.
Well, they claim that on the ground there's a difference in time moving westward against Earth's rotation than moving eastward following Earth's rotation. It's 273. I can't see what that says. I think it's NS, very small writing, and 59 NS.
Why?
There's a big difference there.
Right, travelling in a flat Earth directionality produces a different time on a clock in a plane. Why?
Yeah, exactly. It's a flat Earth measurement because it's a theory of relativity can be counterintuitive and difficult to understand. But this experiment demonstrates a direct measurement of time dilation, a specific aspect of relativity using a practical concept in our everyday lives.
The concept is time itself, which is derived from the movement of the lights, which are now being inferred to not be moving because the ground's moving. Again, no matter how many times I say it, having the claim repeated to me, which is fairly standard fare, I'm going to repeat the claim to you. Yeah, but your suggestion that the ground moves and the stars and lights don't means that I have to take a leap of faith where I accept that the mathematics derived from flat plane measurements isn't actually what we get the concept of time from. It's like, but we do get the concept of time from the lights moving. That is what the concept is. You can tell it all you like. You can spout relativity at me all you like. It won't alter that you're just working outside of the convention that you've utilised when you describe time dilation. Well, number one, you don't dilate concepts, right? They don't dilate. It's a concept. And it's a concept derived from movements of lights. And your inference is that they aren't moving, the ground is. Completely non sequitur, not proven, not demonstrated. But if they want to accept that, fine. You believe that this has proven that. Okay, fine, I guess. It just doesn't work for me, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I don't accept that. Because I don't have to, because you haven't drawn it as a logical inference, conclusion, or demonstration in scientific validity. You've done none of the above. What's that? Science isn't about proving things. Again, back to you with your cope for how this doesn't prove your point. But it's convoluted and contradictory and therefore not necessarily logically sound. But we don't need to be. Well, you don't have to do anything. I just won't accept it.
Right. And you could define this as a politrick then, because it's not an experiment. What was the naturally observed phenomena in this Haley, Khalifi, whatever?
There wasn't the one. They're trying to justify relativity, mathematics, that are derived from the movement of light to form a conceptual description of what we call time. That's what's going on. Now, yeah, it's 10 years of debating gravity in the Newtonian to bring people onto the Einsteinian, so you can rip it apart in one motion. Time's conceptual. It does not bend. It does not dilate. You can't travel on it. It's not a road. Yeah? These ideas are nothing more than fodder for Hollywood movies, not reality. You can't dilate time. It's a conception we've derived from light movements, so we can describe to one another this in a format that's digestible about our progress through the nature of reality. We call it time, but it can't be bent, it can't be dilated. It's just a description of the light averaged to give us a motion that we can put into a mechanical device we call a clock. Clocks aren't time. And if they change in an aeroplane, that doesn't mean that time's dilated. But in your mind, it does. Okay, good for you. You believe whatever you want.
Is the theory of relativity being taught in schools across the world?
In universities.
Universities, okay. So it's being taught as fact that time moves different in space. That's why you get these movies like the one with what's his name, where he doesn't age and he comes back and he watches his daughter die, but it looks like his grandmother because time moved different for him. Interstellar.
So when you say time moved differently, okay, what is it that moves to give us the conception of time? Oh, the light in the sky. Did the light in the sky move differently? No, it didn't. Right? Nothing's changed. We've derived it from that light movement. But if I take this man-made device and show it different, I don't care. Your clock doesn't give us the time in terms of the derivation to form the concept. It's a mechanical device to correlate with that light movement. Well, the correlation of a man-made device changing doesn't mean that time has, quote, dilated. That's nonsense. But as I keep saying, people can believe whatever they want, as counterintuitive, end quote, as it may be. You're like, no, it's only counterintuitive because you're working outside of a convention. Your conventions derive from light movement. When you say that the time has changed, no, the lights still moved the way they always moved. They're very consistent. And that's where you got this concept from. But if you can make the concept the cause, you can work outside of it as a cause and describe something else that isn't time. It's the mechanical device giving us a visualization of that convention. That changing, therefore time has dilated. You're like, no, this has been done in a way that is cognitively expensive. For you. Me, I can summarize it on a live show.
I got it right here. Time dilation is a slowing of the passage of time at high speeds. The faster the object moves, the greater the amount of time dilation. Time dilation, in part, accounts for the constant speed of light, regardless of the light source and regardless of the observer's perspective.
Let's kick the can one further down the road. So the speed, the distance over time?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. You want to work outside the convention of time, but that will fall at the first hurdle. So if you can just kick that can one step down the road to distance over time, that's speed, you can say that the time has changed at speed. So the distance over time has changed the time. This makes no sense anymore because you're working not only outside the convention of time, but outside of a convention derived from time with a distance ascribable to it. So what, the time within the distance at the speed will remain constant, but the time itself dilates? Well, wouldn't those two things cancel each other out? Well, no. You're working outside of the convention in both instances. Both the speed over the time and the time itself. You just, like I say, kicking the can one step further down the road to make it that little bit more cognitively expensive from anybody who wants to believe this crap. What's the overarching point? What's the aim? What's the purpose trying to be served? Well, convincing you that the ground beneath your feet is moving. That's the only purpose in this. Because time isn't dilating, it's a concept.
I believe the reason for it to be invoked was because they needed a reference frame, and they wanted to have a constant, which would be the speed of light, be the constant. So it was the reason for it to be brought in for them would be a reference frame to measure motion.
Yeah, but the reference frame that they're deriving the motion from has its concept set within the movement of the lights in the first instance. So you have to violate what you've derived the concept from to have this reification of the conception make sense when you distort it. So, okay, time dilates or bends. Really? That would mean that the speed, if you describe it with it after the fact, of the light in the sky changes. Well, it doesn't. It's deriving the concept of the time to give you a speed derivative of the time with a distance value ascribed to it. Not to mention the fact that every single one of these conventions is based on and requiring a flat Earth to describe it with. And for what? Well, just so you can have people believing that they're stuck to a spinning water ball. And when you describe it in the old-fashioned, dusty old Newtonian conceptual manner, it falls apart on its arse when you describe mass being attracted to a different mass. So you need to kick that can down the road and turn the incorrect assertion that mass attracts mass into a dilation of a time concept. Now, that's all we ever deal with. These overcomplicated conventions being violated to describe a reference frame, as you put it, bending when it's actually straight.
Yeah, I might have to brush up on it, but yeah, it all was invoked because they tried to measure the Earth moving. They didn't measure the Earth moving, so they said, well, we need a constant to measure motion relative to. Let's call light that constant. So that if everything is moving at the speed of light, and that's constant, there must be something else changing, and that must be that the time is dilating to give us this apparent non-motion of the Earth.
Good summary. You do get this stuff. You do yourself a disservice. You do get it. Totally.
How to explain time dilation to a child. Time dilation is a real effect described by Albert Einstein's theories of relativity. Time can pass at different speeds depending on how fast something is moving or how close it is to a massive object like a planet. A simple way to explain it, time is like a river, child.
But it isn't, is it? Time isn't a river. Right, and saying it moves at different speeds. So time moves at different time over distance. Right, you've got the convention that you're saying changes described from a different convention that utilizes the original one. But apparently that's making it like a river. Oh, God. Anyway, I'm going to round out this live show. So with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. If you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Fortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, massive thank you to all of you who liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
But when you measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If Earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken, we just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and vegs, begging the question less. And I've said it before, time after time, I'm the spitting flat Earth king of rhyme.